Hey all, welcome back to another episode of Car Topics Explained. Today, we're doing something really special. Last week, I talked about the Toyota Supra from the first Fast and the Furious film, and how it was so heavily modified that the sounds we hear in the movie are the same as what the car sounded like in real life. That's pretty remarkable, because usually in the Fast and the Furious series, they will not use the real-life sounds of the cars we see, usually because they're not all that modified, and they don't want us to be hearing boring stock cars. But are the post-production sounds of the other cars achievable? For example, is it possible to build a Skyline that can sound like Brian's from Too Fast, Too Furious? Yes. Yes, it is possible. And today I am going to tell you a few different ways you can go about achieving the highly sought-after sound. So first off, the main thing you need in order to get the sound, here it is in 5 words: single turbo and tubular manifold. In order to even come close to the Too Fast, Too Furious sound, you're going to have to switch your RB26 from twin turbo to single turbo. In fact, according to Craig Lieberman, all of the engines used for the sounds of Brian's Skyline were single turbo RB26s and even RB30s, and some 2JZ was mixed in as well apparently. But don't worry, you don't need to do an RB30 or 2JZ swap. The RB26 will work just fine. The exhaust system can make a little bit of a difference. My recommendation would be to use an HKS or Greddy Trust front pipe and then attach any muffler you want to that. Whatever muffler you pick, it doesn't really matter. You'll get the sound no matter what. But as I said, the exhaust makes only a little bit of a difference. The main thing you should be concerned about is the turbo and exhaust manifold setup you go with. Turbo setups I recommend are the Trust T78, HKS T04Z, and HKS T51R. Out of all those three, the easiest one to get is the T78, simply because it is still in production, whereas the HKS turbos have been discontinued, so you'll have to find them secondhand or something. My recommendation would be to find a GTR club or forum and ask around on there, if you're looking for HKS turbos. But that's not all. I'm going to be playing a few sound clips of each of the different turbo setups back to back with footage from Too Fast, Too Furious, so that you can hear for yourself how similar these cars are to the sounds used in the movie. You'll notice that certain setups are better at replicating different sounds from different points in the film. That's because different cars were used for different moments in the movie. Up first, we've got Simon HN's R33 GTR with a Trust T78 Turbo setup. It has HKS 264-272 cams, a 2.7-liter stroker kit, a Trust front pipe, and a Trust exhaust manifold. And in my opinion, it is the best sounding setup for replicating the sound of Brian's car being in motion. Here, have a listen. And here is also an R32 GTR powered by a T78 as well. This also has the Trust manifold and Trust front pipe as well. Check it out. And just so we've got all generations of the RB26, here is a T78 powered R34 GTR as well. This too has a Trust front pipe. Each T78 car consistently sounds like Brian's when it's moving, right? Well, let's move on to the HKS T04Z cars. From what I can tell just with my ears, It sounds like they used a T04Z RB26 for scenes in which Brian is revving his Skyline. Listen to the top-speed Autosport R34 GTR, and you'll hear what I mean. This car, as I said, is equipped with an HKS T04Z and also has an HKS downpipe, HKS cams, HKS high-power exhaust, HKS manifold, and so on. And while the T04Z is discontinued, I can give you a part number for the T04Z RB26 turbo kits they made, which came with the turbocharger, manifold, and everything else. Hopefully, using that will help you find a kit. But that's not all. Here is another T04Z R34 GTR on a dyno. You can use this to compare it to when Brian's car is in motion. Listen for yourself. It sounds pretty darn close to the movie sound, just like the T78 is. So, if you can get your hands on one of these HKS T04Zs, not only do you have a sought-after turbo, but you've also got one of the most important ingredients in replicating the sound of Brian's car. But wait, there's more. Here's an R32 GTR with a T04Z as well. It's stroked 2.7 liters, the cams are 272s, intake and exhaust. It has an HKS downpipe and has what is most likely an HKS high-power exhaust. Sounds pretty nice, right? Well, now let's move on to one of the most sought-after, if not the most sought-after, HKS turbo of all time. The T51R. Everyone is talking about this turbo, and you're about to hear why. Check out this RB30 swapped R34 GTR with a T51R. Now, I could be imagining things, but doesn't the T51R sound a little smoother or different in texture to the other setups? Apparently, this car's engine was built by Rips Racing in New Zealand, so right away you know it's very nice and high quality. But unfortunately, the parts list is a bit of a mystery. But up next, we've got my favorite T51R powered R34 GTR on YouTube. This car has an RB26 with a T51R Kai and sounds super satisfying. Well, there you have it. To summarize, if you want to try and get your RB26 powered car to sound like Brian's Skyline, just remember, single turbo with tubular manifold. Ideally, you'd want something like a Trust T78, an HKS T04Z, or an HKS T51R. In terms of exhaust, I would recommend an HKS or Gretty Trust front pipe, and then whatever muffler you want, stainless steel or titanium. It doesn't really seem to matter. I personally would want a T78, HKS Gretty front pipe, and an HKS high-power exhaust. And if you want the same blow-off sound as the car in the movie, then you should also get the HKS SSQV. Well anyways, I hope you guys found this video helpful and maybe even entertaining. This video is part of a series called Car Topics Explained. I do lots of videos on cars from the Fast and the Furious movies. I've done the Supra, Brian's Eclipse, the Skyline from the 4th movie, and even the one from the 2nd movie, obviously. I've talked about importing R34s into the US and how to do it legally. I've talked about race cars and super rare Skylines, all sorts of stuff. Beyond that, I also do vlogs, driving POV videos. I have a series documenting me modifying my own cars. I also do gaming or live streams and car reviews. So if any of that interests you, then have a peruse through my channel. And hey, if you're cool, then maybe even hit that subscribe button and join the TRJ crew. But anyways, that's all from me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I, Tom, the Racing Joker, will be signing out for now. See you all next time, and most importantly, stay crazy, everybody.